I am so glad I played this game. I found myself exploring areas and getting lost in the immersion of Norse mythology. I was on the edge of my seat, watching and playing where Kratos would go and fight. God of War Ragnorok was developed by Santa Monica Studios and published by Sony. This was originally a PlayStation exclusive, but has since been released on PC. This is a third-person action RPG where you play as Kratos and his son Atreus, as you work to figure out Atreus' purpose while trying to prevent a war with Odin and other Norse gods. The game has a huge focus on story and character development. Kratos is still learning what it takes to be a father, and Atreus is learning how to be a god in his own way. The story takes place after the events of the original God of War reboot, where you bring Atreus' mother's ashes to the peak of a mountain. Atreus learns that he is a god and a giant, with newfound powers and responsibilities, but is ill-equipped to handle himself and constantly struggles with knowing the right way to handle things. Between beautiful cinematic moments, you explore the different realms with each of their own problems. Exploring allows you, the player, to find collectibles, crafting supplies, weapons, armor, or different side objectives to net you more loot for your travels. I found myself exploring every nook and cranny before moving on to the next story beat. The side objectives include mini quests to help different characters in different realms you explore. This stretches from the deserts of Alfium or the dwarven Svartalheim. Each area has its own issues and history, and it's your job to figure out how to help. You traverse these realms by dog sled, boat, or even by foot. Each realm is unique in its aesthetic and beauty to goggle at and wonder. Combat is a major focus of this game. Playing as Kratos, you have many different weapons in your arsenal, from an axe returning from the reboot to his chained swords from years past. These weapons have their own respective skill trees, where I found myself upgrading the swords more than anything. This made dealing fire damage a breeze, with plenty of combos available to add to the fluid gameplay. There are a few points where the perspective changes and you play as Atreus. His combat is slightly different, wielding a bow and a sword from Odin. This provided a range of ranged combat that spiced things up and helped the game's pacing. Enemies range from nature's own creatures to hellwalkers, elves, and warriors of Odin. Each has their own mechanics that make managing combat fun. This isn't just a hack and slash game, and playing it like it is will usually result in your death. Luckily, you can get resurrection stones that keep you in the fight. These are inexpensive craftable goods that you use to regain a little life, preventing your death. You can only hold one at a time, and once used, you'll need to be extra cautious to avoid dying again. These provided a little extra breathing room in combat encounters or boss fights. Besides your health, you have Rage. Rage can be used in a few different ways. You can use it to gain increased attack and speed, generate health, or go into a fury with your fists. I usually used it as a way to regain some health in the heat of combat, but it takes some time and leaves you vulnerable to incoming attacks. Bosses in this game are spectacular. While most have combat focuses with unique abilities, it almost felt like they were puzzles in their own way. Figuring out the secret for each boss was amazing and invigorating. A perfect example was fighting Heimdall, one of Odin's servants, who could read minds and predict every attack. While he could dodge most attacks, Kratos crafts a spear that can explode on activation. Balancing dodging incoming attacks and launching spears made for an incredible fight. The game touches on a lot of deep subject matters. One that stands out is about fate and prophecy. The game leads you to think that everything that happens is predestined, where your actions are already determined. This leads to a lot of self-discovery about Kratos and Atreus. You do something because it's your choice, not because it is written. There were several moments where I sat back and thought about what I was playing, with a deeper meaning behind it. It's a very captivating experience. Characters stand out, being incredibly fleshed out. For example, in the early game, you are constantly running away from a Valkyrie who has had a traumatic experience in the previous game. Both Kratos and the Valkyrie Freya put their differences aside for the common goal of defeating Odin. Kratos needs to assemble an army to fight Odin and his forces, which makes him travel throughout the realms, leading to the discovery of what Ragnarok really is. The game introduces Ragnarok as a time of great suffering. Prophecies have shown that it's Odin's downfall, and he stops at nothing to prevent it. At the beginning of the game, Kratos wants nothing to do with Ragnarok, and only wants to live a peaceful life with his son, but after following Atreus and discovering the truth behind his purpose, it becomes less of an issue of when, but how it will become. The game paces itself very well. No area, combat encounter, or boss overstays its welcome. While the game pushes you along pretty regularly, there was never a moment I felt rushed to be somewhere else. This ends up being a detriment in the later game. You spend so much time in one area, meeting new characters and helping the realm, it feels off when the next area doesn't play the same. The sense of urgency goes away when through the entire game, you're told that it's prophesized that you will die, only to be enticed to start doing side optional content. I highly recommend this game for the story, characters, gameplay, visuals, sounds, and boss fights. There is so much for this game to offer that it was hard to put the controller down. This is a game I will definitely come back to in the years to come, to relive the experiences and journey that unfold. With all of this, I give God of War Ragnarok an 8.9 out of 10. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Leaving a like or adding a comment below helps me understand what kind of content you like in the future. Thanks for watching.